Okay, this is OK here, and we're playing some 8-piece chess. As you can see, there are 8 different pieces on the back rank. Some of the pieces are normal chess pieces, so the circles are in fact pawns. The square is a rook, the X shape is a knight, the diamond shape is a bishop, the octagon is a king, the sun is a queen, and then there are 3 rather unfamiliar pieces, which are the jailer, the lancer, and um, the sentry. And we'll describe how they move as we go along. Okay, so it's white to move, so let Jeff be white. Maybe I'll put the logo somewhere else then. I see the show hide chat. I can see on the screen, but we're going to communicate on Discord, and he can hear me on the screen. I've got slight. Okay, so just to say, oh, what's happening here? Oh, I think Jeff is trying to demonstrate something. So we're talking about these new pieces. Just a sample of how sentries push lancers. Yes, I think I understand the rules, but I'm happy to to pass on your explanation. Yes. So exactly. So sentries must move in the direction. Yes, exactly. Sentries must move in the direction they are pointing. And something very nasty, which Jeff is illustrating here, is how a sentry could send a lancer to the edge of the board so that it's actually pointing at the edge of the board. So it can never move again once it's pointing at the edge of the board, unless the opponent on his turn moves it immediately. Otherwise it will be left pointing at the edge of the board for the rest of the game. But just to explain how these pieces move, it's because the lancer, it can move in any direction, but it must move in the direction that it's pointing. So it can move in any direction, and then it can change direction can be replaced by some other direction. Okay, obviously you wouldn't want to do that, because then again you can never move it again. But now a sentry can do something very interesting. It can push a lancer. So this is what Jeff is trying to illustrate. That the sentry, whenever it never takes any piece, but it pushes pieces in the direction they want to go anyway, and it can then capture. Okay, so the question then I'd have for Jeff is it possible for, if you wanted to, I don't know if you want to push it to here? Is that possible? To push it, not to push it all the way. Can you push pieces part of the way? Yes, so lancers can turn and move, but only immediately after being pushed. So these extra pieces, they're a bit strange in that the jailer doesn't capture pieces at all. It just jails pieces. So whenever it's next to a piece, up, down, right, left, that piece can't move. So Jeff says a sentry can use the lancer as if it's his or her own for that move, Or a sentry can also push the lancer any direction, but only one square, and only to an empty square. Yes, you can push part of the way, answering my question. So you said a sentry can use the lancer as if it's his or her own for that move. Does that mean that you can jump over your own pieces with that lancer? Because I thought it had to be over the enemy pieces it had to jump. So the lancer, which we didn't properly explain, the lancer is a bouncing beast. If that's my black lancer and I have a bunch of pawns, it can jump over them. Whoa. It can jump over them. So this is a black lancer. So okay, so it's allowed to jump over your own color pieces as well as the opponent color pieces. But what if they're pieces of both colors? I mean, I know this is ridiculous, but suppose there's a piece here and a piece here, and a lancer here, and this is a pushing piece. So this pushes this piece, so this has pushed out the way. Can it go to any of these squares? Because I would have thought the lancer was white, so it can't jump over the black piece. It could jump over the white piece, but it's not allowed to jump over the black piece. Is that correct? Or it can jump over the black piece as well. So, okay, it says watch this. So hi there, Chess Maria in Twitch chat, and also Joel Calanda. Black piece, yep. It's a blocker, right? It's not allowed to jump over the queen, right? Because once you push it, it's switched color, so it's white, so it's not allowed to jump over the queen. It cannot jump over the black piece. Yeah, that's my understanding. So it's all very logical. There's nothing surprising. So hi there, Joel and Chess Maria. Yeah, I mean, I think I understand everything already. So yeah, I think that everything is how I understood it. It's all very logical. So should we play, or is there something else you wanted to share? Whoa, I keep on moving the board around. It's annoying. So another addition. So look at the board now. Yes, looking at it. So it looks like white is in trouble. Because this is a king, by the way, here. And it looks like this king is in trouble. Yes. Yes. Yes, this is actually quite interesting because according to the rule it would be white and it has to go in this direction. So what's the rule? Oh, so the white sentry is allowed to turn the lancer and push it one square to an empty square. Oh. I have a question. So it has to be one square, so if it's like this and this, Yeah, so it's allowed to push it one square, I see that, to an empty square. So it can't push it like jump, it can't jump over anything, in other words. There can't be any jumping involved. Okay. So if there are white pieces on h6 and h7, no jumping. Okay. So that seems to be another sort of very special case. Um, you can you can push it, you can just nudge it in any direction. Okay, that's an interesting addition. So, okay, I should explain just to people who are just joining us. So this is a rook, this is a knight, and this is a bishop, and this is a king. So the king side is exactly the same as in chess, but with weird pieces. So we just have to remember we're like opera playing with weird pieces, and we just have to remember this is a rook, this is a knight, this is a bishop, this is a king, and this is a queen. But as well as the standard weird pieces, there are three extra weird pieces. And that's what we're talking about. The sentry, the lancer, and the jailer. The sentry doesn't capture any piece. It pushes pieces. It pushes enemy pieces in the direction they would go anyway, and so we're just showing how it would push a lancer. That's a rookie cookie indeed. The lancer has to go in the direction it's pointing, but it's got some superpowers. It can jump over its own pieces in that direction. And finally, the jailer can't capture any pieces, and then having moved, it can then change direction to any of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 directions. And finally, the jailer can't capture any pieces, but it can jail a piece which is north, south, east, or west of it. So I think we're ready to go. And what that means is that that piece just can't move for the rest of the game until the jailer leaves its side. I think it's best just to place the pieces back rather than restarting. If that's, I think that's just the easiest thing to do. Because in my experience, these things are a bit fiddly. Um, so just putting the pieces back would be the easiest thing to do. Okay. The thing with restarting is it takes a while to load, but okay. And then I have to adjust. Okay, but it seems to be fine. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to play Jeff a game of 8-piece chess. So let's go. And as I said, we'll explain further about the pieces as we go along. The sentry, the lancer, and the jailer especially, because yes, they're a bit weird. And yeah, high smash. Okay, d4, copy the best, d5. Who is Jeff? Jeff is the guy who invented this game. So just remember rook, knight, bishop, king, queen, sentry. Sentries are very baffling pieces. They can't change color of square, so a light color sentry will always be on a light color. So he tells me knight f3 is bad because bishop to g4, and it's mate because bishop takes knight. Sorry, sentry takes knight. The knight. So the way the sentry works is it pushes the knight, over the king and takes the king. So if knight f3, sentry to g4 threatens, sentry takes knight. Now I get that, but what if the knight moves? So I'm just going to just to go through this again. Suppose knight f3, sentry to g4, and then this. Then what he's saying is, do pawns move forward? Can the pawn take the? Can the sentry get the pawn to take the king? Because pawns don't take vertically. So surely it would be pawn takes queen. So it would be like, and then pawn here. So I'd lose the queen rather than it being mate, right? Is that correct? Um, so it's not mate, but I'd lose a lot of pieces, and then yeah, and then the sentry could get taken by the bishop, and so on. Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. So just checking that. Yes, it's not mate. It's just not a very good move. Okay, fair enough. I agree then. Now I want my sentry back. Where's my sentry? Here. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'll do this. Well, you lose your lovely sentry, but you win a queen. So interesting. Okay. Hmm. So what's the bishop doing? Bishop is pointing here, so I could get my sentry out, and that threatens checkmate because it threatens to push the queen into his king. So if I did that, he can't put the knight in the way, so he'd have to put the pawn in the way. So sentry to g4 would be followed by f3. And then I could, for example, take the rook with my sentry. For example, by going pawn takes rook, the pawn would end up where the rook is, and I'd take the rook. But otherwise, I'd have to. No, I can't because the sentries have to move diagonally. Sorry. Okay, got it. I'm being a bit. Okay. So that doesn't work. So what else could I do? And I need to use my bishop somehow. Um, okay. Then also this is a diagonal piece. It comes out. It can move in other directions as well. Like I could move from here to here and so on. But it can also jump. So the real power is the jumping. Notice that this can just jump, jump, jump. Okay, this is really interesting. So if ever I did knight to e5, the lancer could, if it wants, just take that knight. So you could go bishop takes knight, pawn takes, and then lancer takes. That's a rather interesting state of affairs. Um, okay, so what should I do? So actually this square is quite well guarded. I'm going to do this to try and control a bit more squares. Hmm. So Chess Maria says we don't hear Jeff. No, Jeff is typing to me if there's something worth typing. Again, if bishop here, he just goes f3. Is there anything interesting to say? Okay, I think I'll just do this. So I'm just discouraging him from ever pushing e4 because then I'll take his sentry. I mean, that's the basic idea. He castles. So again, rather interesting. If I do sentry here, he does f3. Okay, I'll just do c6, just opening up my my lancer. He's going to do f3 sooner or later. But he can't do f3 immediately, because if he just did f3 now, I can actually just take this this one and it's check. And he can push it back for sure. He can push it back. Yeah, he can push it back, but now I can take it. And again, it's... Oh no, I can't take it. That's not allowed. Okay, okay. That's the whole point. When it pushes, you can't take it back. Yes, indeed. Yes, very nice. So now he is threatening to push it back again. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Quite a... Okay. So he's threatening to take it back again. So it's like I have to put all my pieces on white squares, or else I'll be in trouble. So that's the kind of situation I'm in. It's kind of pushing me about. Is this guy? um, so how about we push him about a bit? Let's see. So if I did, yeah, it's not so easy. So he is controlling all these squares. So so if I did rook g8, that would mean he can. He's not. I'm not worried about him. Takes. So he'll end up with a bishop on h6. But I could just back off. I could just back off. And then, yeah, I could just back off. That's just a way of saying, okay, I've had enough of these games. Yeah, that's the most sensible thing to do here. So now I'm just reading. So bishop f4, bishop g5 are also not legal. Yep, I can't move the bishop back in the direction it was pushed. So you can't castle because I'm threatening the f8 square. Yeah, if I castle, he'd go. He'd just take my rook. Now you can with the bishop on g7. So actually, I could castle, but the sentry would take my rook, and then yeah, and the bishop would be on h6. So it would be extremely uncomfortable. I think I made a mistake though, because now he's threatening mate. So his sentry is causing havoc, because he can go duh, and then takes this and push this back. But then I can go pawn takes at least. Yes. Is there anything else? He could go bishop takes pawn, pawn takes queen. That's also possible. It's weird because I'm being forced onto dark squares, which is not what I want. But okay, I'm going to go... oh yeah, I don't want to get mated, so I have to do this. So it's either do that or lose the queen. So I don't want to lose the queen, I don't want to get mated, so that's why I did that move. So he could have pushed the knight, but okay. Oh. So now he's threatening bishop takes pawn, maybe. But okay, I was going to do this and try and push that one back. So he can take with that. Now, but the thing with this is I can retake either with the rook or the pawn. So normally if you push something back, you can't retake, but pawns are an exception. If you push a pawn back, it can retake. But I'm going to take with the rook. So, whoa. I'm going to retake with the rook and just make sure that my board is still looking okay. I put my logo back in the bottom left where it should be. So let's look at the chat. Obese chess. Pieces can only take pieces of lower or equal value. So king can take everything, and everything can take the king. But otherwise, you have to take pieces of equal or lesser value. And it's an invention by Smash. And Giles says, I think the century is worth like 6 in the opening, less later. Well, I got his century, so that's all good. Okay, so he's letting me in a little with this, but I'm trying to work out which direction to put it in. So maybe, I could put it going forwards or backwards. Trying to figure out which direction I want. I might need more board space. Okay, I think I'm gonna go for that one, and then put the board back where it was. I think so. That seems to be the most reasonable. So he's trying to trap my Lancer, which is also reasonable. Yeah, because it has to go back, and he's restricting its backward movement. Very interesting. So if I did, for example, knight h5, he could then go king takes Lancer. And then there's knight f5, knight g5, knight takes g6. Okay, I think the better move is to do queen to d6. Because he doesn't want my queen coming into g3, that's for sure. Okay, so Jarl says, oh sorry Smash, I think this, yeah. Lancer is hard, I find it hard to use well. Jailer increases in strength in the endgame. What you can move it and change its direction. So the Lancer is the one you can move and change direction. Okay, so I'm thinking whether to get it out or whether to go knight h5. So knight h5, king takes, queen takes pawn check. Knight h, oh, queen takes, no, I can never do queen takes. Knight h5, king takes, I can never go queen takes g3 because the knight is protecting g3. This is something to be aware of. So yeah. If ever I put my sentry here, it can just get taken. This one, queen is a cool piece, but yeah, queen is a cool piece. Knight h5, unfortunately, he can just take my lancer, and if I just do a discovered check, no, I can't do queen takes g3 ever. Okay, I'm just going to go for this to get my lancer out. I think this is good. So he gets my lancer with his. Oh, I haven't changed direction yet. So I'm getting my lancer out, and I'm going to change direction to be threatening his king. That's the idea. So it's a check. And he takes me. Okay. So I am going to take back with the queen, obviously. And that's check. So he's going to interpose with his lancer, but he's got a decision to make. Which direction to leave it in? Is he wanting to guard h2, or is he wanting to attack the queen with the lancer? So it's a little bit of a dilemma. What's interesting is, if for example I move my sentry to here, he can go rook e2, maybe, or queen. I think that's good actually. So I'm going to move my sentry to h3. Smash Time says, what about sentry h3? Or lancer, or I could have also gone, yeah, or queen h3. Yeah. So the idea about this move, by the way, is that if I push the sentry, I can only push it to h2. The problem, or I can actually push it in any direction, though, can't I? So am I allowed to push it like? Am I allowed to push it like so? Is that allowed? Oh, okay. So I see. If I do it like that, he's allowed to change direction. Which one is this? It's off my screen. Okay, so basically, yeah, if I push it, he's allowed to just to check. So we discussed at the beginning how I could just nudge it, but by nudging it, he can, for example, get it to just take me, for example. Is that right? Yeah. So meaning that could then take this one, couldn't it? So after it's being nudged, you are allowed to change direction. So I'm saying in this position, can you just go and you can take me like this, and then end up. Yes, exactly. So that's why. Yeah. So that's why I'm not doing this. Yeah. So it was tempting, but I'm not going to do that. But something which I could do perhaps is to nudge it to h1. Now if I nudge it to h1, unfortunately he's got, if I nudge it to h1, he has queen takes sentry, and that's the end. That's the end of my fun. No, I can't nudge it to h1. Sorry, what am I talking about? Yes, I can. I can nudge it one square in any direction. Yes, I can change it one square in any direction. So I could nudge it, for example, to f1 or to h1, but then you can take my sentry. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be a real meanie. I'm going to nudge it into h1 so it's where it can never play again and take it. So the point is, if he ever takes my sentry, he can change direction and take my sentry, but then I can play queen h2, for example. Maybe. So maybe it wasn't such a smart thing to do after all. I can nudge. Yeah, if I nudged it to f2, unfortunately he can change direction and take my queen. But he can nudge it and take my sentry, unfortunately. But the problem with doing that... Oh, he does it with the queen. Hmm. So we could trade queens. That's one option. The other one is I could take the rook and leave his jailer out of the game for the rest of the game. So he says I can't change direction and take your sentry. I think by the rules you're allowed to change direction either before or after your go. Because you can't move towards a sentry after a push. Oh, yes, that's true. You're not allowed to push back where the sentry sent you from. That's true. That's true, that's true, that's true. Yes, exactly. So you could take my queen, but you couldn't take the sentry. The sentry is immune from the piece it was messing around with. So I've got choices now. I could either take the rook. The problem is he then jails my queen. So even though he's in check, the queen is just jailed. And the problem with being jailed is he can just come and mop up the queen whenever he wants to. So that's no good at all. So because it's no good, I'm not going to do it. What else could I do? I could just take the queen. That's just a boring thing to do. Or I could do this, defending the queen. Yeah, the jailer can jail the queen, exactly. Okay, so we have a trade of queens. Remember, this guy's stuck, but I can still take it if I wanted to. Okay. Back off. Because if I took that, it's just taking a worthless piece. So there's no point taking a worthless piece. Whoa, 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 what's he doing? Check. Whoops. That's a bad mistake. He's got no good moves. So he does this. I wonder if I've got mate somewhere. Let's see. I can't be too greedy, but just checking. It's the crazy house instincts kicking in. Do I have mate? No, I think I just take... Actually, the knight might get trapped, actually. So maybe I should defend it. If I defend it, what's the idea? Then they're check, king there. Then, yeah, okay, I'm going to defend it. And then if he moves the bishop, what's the idea? Then I take the rook or something. Yes. So I'm going to be greedy. Don't want to take it. A knight on the rim is grim, and a lance on the grim is terrible. Yes, indeed. Okay, so we're going to throw in a check. And I thought I knew what I was doing, but seems like I don't know what I'm doing. I thought I was going to try and mate him somehow, and I can't see how. Because if he takes the pawn, then he's taking the knight next. That's not working. So I better defend. Better defend the pawn. Hmm. Okay, so what is the jailer doing? What is the jailer doing? Um, and is he walking into mate somehow? Yeah, I think he's walking into mate. No, he's not. Well, anyway, I'm going to do this. So Giles says Smash has invented a variant. I need to invent one. So by the way, Marlonk Jal on my YouTube said something about he wanted an equivalent to he wanted an analogy to chess, just as sevens rugby is to regular rugby, and that was what he was asking about. Oh, you've gone really greedy on me, haven't you? I think you're going to get mated for it. No, you're not. I haven't calculated this correctly. What's going on here? If I take, but I can take the rook whenever I want to, can't I? Anyway, so I could take the rook, but I get jailed, right? Can't I take the rook? Just take the rook. And the king is in a mating net, basically. So I'm going to play g6 next move. Yeah, and g6 is checkmate. Good game. Okay, should we do a new one? Oh, was that a pass? I'm not sure what that was. But anyway, I can take this piece, is the point. I'm not unbeatable, but I am undefeated, which is just what it happens to be. Gel says, Jeff, smash him before he gets too powerful. Do I get white this game? I don't know how to flip the board. Is it possible to flip it round? Whoa, that's full screen. That's not what I want. Okay, well, anyway. Being black is an advantage because I can copy what his moves, I guess. Because otherwise I'd have done knight f3, which was a bad move after all, for example. So hold right mouse and turn it around. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so we got a bird's eye view this one. Okay, so let's go. This one, d4. Okay. So this one's kind of dangerous. But it could be blocked by pawn. So I'm thinking, so what if I take the sentry out to here? He just play f6, I guess. If I took the sentry to here, then there's no one to block it. Yes, so sentry to here feels more dangerous, but you just go, yeah. So I go, yeah. So sentry to f4 feels more. Oh, sentry to f4 is just dumping the piece. Okay. Let's okay, I gotta take beginners take backs. Okay. Gosh, I'm bad at this game. I really want to go knight f3, but it's a really bad move. So what else do I do? Maybe h3. It's weird. I have the hand of the black pieces, even though I'm playing with white pieces. Yes, this is interesting. Those lancers are dangerous. So I could go knight f3 now if I want to. Yeah, the lancers are dangerous. They can do a lot of damage. So if I go, what if I go sentry here? He could then take the lancer, but then But essentially it's not really doing anything, it's just going diagonally nowhere. So this one, f3. Yeah, okay. So it's a much more dynamic game, this game. I could take, but then this takes back. If I move the knight, it pushes. This takes back, and probably points towards here, but that's protected. So I'll take it. Oh, you put it in the bin. Okay, that explains it. Okay, and he's just going to face backwards. Interesting. So I can then get a tempo by doing this. Maybe. And he goes back. Okay. Which means that okay, I've got to always watch out for where the sentry is heading to. So you can always take that pawn and push it back. What? Because pawns do push. Fair enough. I guess pawns do push. And it becomes his pawn for a second. The moment he pushes it. Okay, fair enough. So if I attack him, he comes here, and he's threatening bishop takes rook. Yes, okay. Okay, so I do this. Hang on. So no, I don't want to do that. Gosh. Okay. Let's do this here. I need to develop my queen side. That's also a slight problem I have. Interestingly, he's actually defending f7. But by defending f7, he's allowing me to attack f7. It's a sort of paradox. Okay. So how do I defend? How do I defend that piece again? I could go. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Okay, well let's go with the queen. This is not good. It's not good, is it? Oh well. No, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay. So if bishop takes, the point is if bishop takes, queen takes, and I have an attack then on g7. I was slightly worried about c5, but then there are other. Then that hangs d5. Ooh, f6. I mean, that's just. So it looks positionally bad. Let's put it that way. But sure. The knight goes here. It gets hit again. The knight comes back. Just getting hit a lot. I haven't got c4. So actually the knight is actually defended. I don't need to do anything because it's defended by the lancer. I mean, I can move it back, but it's not needed. But I could also, so in that sense, the lancer can do what it likes. Okay. So it's time to develop some pieces, but okay, I can also push e4, e4, hitting the rook. e4 hitting the rook, he would have a discovered check, just takes it. So e4 hitting the rook's not bad. Okay, that's a mate threat. That's a mate threat, so I have to do this. Yep. So now it's threatening to diagonal, takes the pawn, pushes the pawn, takes the lancer, and then takes back. So that whole business. Okay, so he's just pushing me back. He's also threatening takes the knight and pushes the knight in some direction. If I defend with the bishop, he could take. Then yeah, he has then rook takes knight. Okay, if he took the bishop can go in any old direction, but then I can go pawn takes. Pawn takes annoying piece. So I'm going to do that. Is that everything okay? So he takes my knight. Okay, but then I definitely take this guy. And he takes that guy. Okay, then I take this guy with the queen. And he defends with the knight. So then I go. What do I do? Queen. think of going queen e6, but what's the follow-up? Yeah, okay, we could try queen e6. Okay, try queen e6. Oh, I had the direct check, of course. Yeah, of course. I was hoping for queen takes. Yeah, so I was thinking of going queen check and then queen takes. I didn't realize you had knight block, so yeah, that was a mistake. Okay, fine. Do this. Ah, but now I have mate because I go lancet check and replace it with this one. Checkmate! Yay! Okay, I need to take back the openings, but yay! No! Lancer can jump and kill me. Oh no. No. I was celebrating too soon. Ah, how sad. It's like, I won, I resign. Okay, let's think. Uh, oh, that's tragic. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I have to take this. But it's all gone pear-shaped. I just lost my queen. Yeah, Giles said, okay, isn't it, piece God? Oh, yeah, exactly. All that time, it was defending the mate. Ah, the pain. Um, yes, indeed. Okay, so I need to get my. I can castle with the jailer, can't I? So if I do that, he could takes. That's not so good. Um, okay, this. Yes, it all went pear-shaped, indeed. Hmm. So as a test, I can't castle if I'm in check. That I presume is fairly obvious. Basically, I'm doomed. But keep making moves, I guess. What if I go f3? If I go f3, okay, let's. Oh, um, okay, I think I'm going to go f. Do I go f3? Is that crazy? Got 1, 2, 3 pieces is the problem. Okay, jailer comes in. Okay, so I'm going to do this. So with that move, I can take the bishop, and the bishop will act like a bishop, and will take his knight, for example, and return as a bishop. Or I could try and jail him up. So I'll try and jail him up. I think that's the right thing to do, though. He takes that piece. I take, oops, I take this piece. Hey, that's jailed. It's illegal. So the knight is being jailed by the jailer. Okay, I'm confused. If you could write in chat what this is all about, because the jailer forbids the knight and the jailer from moving. Yeah. Okay. So he's trying to take my my jailer. Yep. That's the problem. So what to do? I can throw him a check. I can. I'll throw him a check. Oh, he can just take it. Yeah, he can just take it. Oh, silly of me. Yeah. Jailer's no good on its own. Okay, I resign this one. Don't think I can do anything. He's just going to reroute his queen, take my jailer, take everything, and it's a pulverizer. So I didn't have. Where's the resign? Settings. Uh, Putting it away. I don't put my king in the basket. I don't know what else do I do. Well played. Yeah, it's interesting games. You got time for for a third one? Okay, I'm going to be back in 60 seconds. Okay, I am back. One more. Okay, cool. Let's go. Okay, so we're going instead for C4, opening up a piece that doesn't really need to be opened up in a way, because it travels so well. So I'm going to do E4. Okay, he's developing the queen. What's the idea? The idea is that this pawn is not protected. Fair enough. So what should I do with this? I mean, I'll do this, but I'll orient it like so maybe. Sorry, having a little think about things. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't need to get this lancer out. I'm kind of feeling, why did I do that? It doesn't need to be out. So I'm just sort of feeling, okay. Um, maybe, I'm just not sure how to develop. Okay, maybe like so, or maybe like so. I mean, this is an interesting defensive setup, but yeah, it does create certain weaknesses, like e4 is undefended. Okay, let's just hit e4, for example. And just do this. Kind of strange setup we have here. Hey, I just killed my lancer, didn't I? I can't move it backwards. Yeah, no, this is not what I realized. This is not what I thought. Um, okay. So what's the idea of that? Doesn't do anything. Pawn, pawns take that way. Doesn't do anything. Unless I have knight takes pawn. Pawn takes. And then I can take. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this is I didn't realize what I was doing with my lancer. It's just completely crazy. Ugh. Um, okay. So he takes my pawn. Uh, he takes my pawn again. Okay, I'll take your pawn. So I can't take your queen? I can't, am I wrong about taking your queen here? Or have I got this mixed up? So it would move like my pawn. Oh, my pawn would be blocked. Ah, okay. So is it possible I take that one? I didn't realize that. Okay, I was being silly. Um, yeah, what's this? The knight. Sorry, this is um, okay. Yeah, I thought something different basically. Yeah, yeah. So it moves my pawn. So I was thinking I could take your queen, but okay. Can I take that one back? Where's my knight? Yeah, pawns don't go straight. Okay, so basically this whole miscalculation was just of the last one. I've sacked two pawns. They want to sack a knight as well as two pawns. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, because I was thinking, yeah, hmm, that kind of spoils everything. Okay, so what do I do here? I guess I do this. Okay, so he's hitting this pawn. I better defend, which is great. I've just blocked in my own bishop. What do I do? What am I doing? I know exactly what he wants to do. He wants to get his bishop where his queen is, so I'm going to have to play h6. Oh, so if I take this pawn, no, that doesn't work. Yeah. So remember, this lancer is defending his second rank. Got to remember that. The lancer defends his second rank. Can't forget that one. Okay, I'm going to first chase that queen away. That's the first order of business. Chase the queen away. And second thing is don't do second rank attacks because they won't work. What else could I do? Knight takes. You could just back off. What do I do next? He just backs off. Yeah. G5. He can actually take my knight if I do G5. G5, you can use my pawn to take my knight. Use my pawn to take my knight, and yeah, there's just no point. No point in this. I'm just going to do this. So piecewise, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm not a piece down somehow. How come? Now this one, I can actually take this pawn. Which is awkward. Yep. Interestingly, these lancers can't can't really fork. Like I can't fork your king and queen with the lancer. Interestingly, I can't take the pawn with the bishop, or you just take my queen. I could take it with the knight, but I could take it with the pawn, but then lose my rook. That's not interesting. I could hit your rook. That's also interesting. Yeah, hitting the rook's pretty cool. I could throw in a check, which you probably block. Okay, I throw in a check. What do you block with? Ah, you block with a knight, of course. That makes a lot of sense. Um, so I guess that doesn't leave me much choice, but what does it leave me choice to do? Yeah, I think I guess I have to take that. Interesting. So if I ever move the knight, I'm going to take it back. Interesting. But by doing that, you're weakening this square. You can take either the knight or the queen. He chooses to take the knight. So I'll take the queen. Whoa. And it's check. Interesting. And I'll take this one and take a king. Yeah. Okay. So this time if I take the pawn, it's not a threat. So now I can move the queen. I could move the queen with the check, but then he just defends with the pawn. So that doesn't do anything. I could go here, but then that just... I'm slightly confused. So if I nudge the king... Yeah, if I nudge the king to e1, you could then... So if I take on f3 and then nudge the king to e1 in check, you can just take back on e1, so it wouldn't be mate. Yeah. I could also just take there and then get a rook on the back rank, and that's sort of interesting. So there, you take my queen, I take your rook on the back rank. It's also interesting. I could also take your... Okay, what I'm going to do is that piece actually doesn't have much of a future unless it goes up and down there. But actually, it does have a future. It can just go up and down. Okay. Okay, and the Lancer again jumps is sorry, it goes diagonally. So I could do it, and then that becomes a Lancer. It's not really useful, is it? Huh. I'm trying to work out what to do here. Okay, I don't want to get jailed by your jailer. I could swap off things, but okay, let's just get out of here. Let's just get out of here. So it looks like you want a trade, which is interesting. So that becomes my pawn, so I push it. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to attack f3, I think. And something is in the chat. Not quite sure what. I'm seeing some, as if you're writing me messages, but I can't read the messages. Ooh, that's dangerous. Because I could replace that pawn, and the pawn takes your bishop. That's not correct. What I'm trying to say is it becomes my pawn, it takes your bishop. Yeah, okay, so I'm saying I could just take this pawn, and the pawn oh yeah, he takes back. Yeah, yeah. But then I've got queen takes pawn check. Yeah. um, so now I can go this, but rearrange it so that it's one of these pieces. And it's just, I could do that. And resigns. You could have put the bishop, what if the bishop goes here? Then good games. What happens if, sorry, not bishop, if the, my mind's just gone. The sentry. What happens if the sentry goes to d2? Then It's still, I mean, it's still presumably game over, but I can't see I can't see the finish. Essentially went to d2, then what's the finish? So Jeff says, yeah, it's a good defense line, the whole queen up. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah. And I could have just taken your rook as well earlier. But yeah, just was just wondering whether there was something concrete. Let me see, it would be something like bishop here, rook here. Yeah. Yeah. So could have continued. Bishop takes, rook takes, something like this. Takes here. King takes. And see, I've got a queen and a rook up. Because, well, this is pointing at queen and a rook up if I can secure this one. Yeah. If I can secure this one, it's a queen and a rook up. Yeah. Okay. Good games. Well, I got lucky. So thanks for the games, Jarl, earlier today, and Jeff just now. It's a good introduction to the game, hopefully. So hopefully people can enjoy this game. You can play it on this website, tabletopia.com, and I'll put a link to the rules with the video. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll just see if I see who's streaming now. Let's raid Swole 19. Let's just raid Swole 19. Thanks again, Jeff, and good night, everyone.